Hello, BookTube. Well, we were saved at the last minute by an end-of-the-day mail delivery, which is good, because I no more wanted to have a measly one book haul than I wanted you to have a measly one video day, or even two videos. If you don't have three videos in your feed every day, what's the point of living? It's not a big haul, but I did get three more books, so I thought we'd open them together. Uh, Starting with this little thing. They go up in size as they go along. So what is this tiny little thing? Okay. This is not anything I requested. It came out in March. It looks like it's a series of interviews with Allen Ginsburg. Previously uncollected interviews. In these, Allen Ginsburg elaborates on how speech, as much as writing, reading, and even poetry, is an act of art. And the editor is wrote a biography of Ginsburg and is the editor of the Essential Ginsburg. So I imagine the intertextual stuff will be very informed. That's good. Not exactly Steve's cup of tea, but we'll move on from there. This thing, publisher heretofore unknown to me. Oh right, okay, yes, okay. I requested this. This is edited by Helen Mitzios, and it is Out of the Blue, new short fiction from Iceland. It has a foreword by the worst living proponent of Icelandic fiction, but I won't hold that against the whole book. And it's always a fascination for me. You know, new realms where I hadn't seen them before. Oh, these are the same. These are both University of Minnesota Press. Okay, great. So this has a whole bunch of fiction by a whole bunch of people whose names are similar, are very similar. I mean, you get the same thing if you did Irish fiction or Japanese fiction. You get a whole bunch of daughters. there's Aurora Olaf's daughter, Kristen Erika's daughter, O.R. Jonas' daughter. There's all sorts of sons too. Einar Gunnarsson, Olafur Gunnarsson, Einar Mar Gunnarsson. It's that actually intrigues me. These are names, of course, that I will not know, and that makes me want to know more. So fantastic, and these are all in relatively new translations, I think. Now the translations are a little bit iffier too. So this is an advanced copy. When does this come out? This comes out in April. So very nice, very nice. And then we move to the big one. this big thing here. It's got to be more than one book. I know all the books this size, the single books this size that are coming out. I'm not due to get any of them today. So it's got to be a care package. Oh, it is. Look at that. It's a care package. Great. Okay. So what have we got here? This must be all from the same publisher. Okay. And the publisher is Belleview Literary Press. And it looks like it's their whole seasonal catalog. Okay, so what have we got here? This first one's a novel, A Fugitive in Walden Woods by Norman Locke. Kind of a nice cover. Rocks underwater. Henry David Thoreau's principles are tested when a young man escapes from slavery into Walden Woods. Samuel Long escapes from slavery in Virginia, traveling the Underground Railroad to Walden Woods, where he encounters Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, Nathaniel Hawthorne, William Lloyd Garrison, and other transcendentalists and abolitionists. While Long will experience his coming of age at Walden Pond, his host will receive a lesson in human dignity, culminating in a final act of civil disobedience. Okay. And Norman Locke has written many other novels, so this is not his first. And this comes out in June. And then we have another novel. This is called Autopsy of a Father by Pascal Kramer. Whoever they've got doing their covers is certainly talented. When a young woman returns to her childhood home after her estranged father's death, she begins to piece together the final years of his life. What changed him from a prominent left-wing journalist to a bitter racist who defended the murder of a defenseless African immigrant? Kramer exposes a country gripped by intolerance and violence to unearth the source of families' fall from grace. Set in Paris and its suburbs, and inspired by a real-life scandal of a French author and intellectual, Autopsy of a Father blends sharp observations about familial dynamics with resonant political and philosophical questions. Okay. And Pascal Kramer has also written a bunch of novels. She's worked in LA and now lives in Paris, where she directs a documentary film festival about children's rights. And this is translated from the French by Robert Bonono. And it comes out in July. Okay. All right. I am now officially impressed by who was it again? Belleview Literary Press. I am now officially impressed. Whoever they've got doing their acquiring is doing a real good job. So what have we got next here? Oh my God! All right. Well, this is an author I know. This is coming out in March. It's a novel called Jersey by Jerome Charon, whose New York novels are fantastic, not to be missed. And this is a novel about Jerzy Kosinski. Son of a gun. Jerzy Kosinski was a great enigma of post-World War II literature. When he exploded onto the American literary scene in 1965 with his best-selling novel The Painted Bird, he was revered as a Holocaust survivor and refugee from the world hidden behind the Soviet Iron Curtain. He won major literary awards, befriended actor Peter Sellers, who appeared on the screen adaptation of his novel Being There, and was a guest on talk shows and at Oscars. But soon the facade began to crack, and behind the public persona emerged a ruthless social climber, sexual libertine, and pathological liar who may just have plagiarized his greatest works. Jerome Charon lends his unmistakable style. That's true. This guy isn't the household name, but he should be. To this most American story of personal disintegration, told through the voices of multiple narrators. A homicidal actor, dominatrix, Joseph Stalin's daughter, who each provide insights into the shifting facets of Kosinski's personality. The story unfolds like a Russian nesting doll, eventually revealing the lost child beneath layers of trauma. Okay. All right, this comes out in March. Jersey, a novel, a historical novel about Jerzy Kosinski, of all things. And then, well, let's move on. You would ordinarily think that an envelope full of made-up stories would have Steve depressed, but not so far. All right, so what's the next thing we've got here? This is a hardcover. Comes out in May, and it is called Freud's Trip to Orvieto by Nicholas Fox Weber. The subtitle is The Great Doctor's Unresolved Confrontation with Anti-Semitism, Death, and Homoeroticism, His Passion for Paintings, and the writer in his footsteps. Okay. After a visit to the cathedral at Orvieto in Italy, Sigmund Freud deemed Luca Signorelli's frescoes the greatest artwork he had ever encountered. Yet a year later, he couldn't recall the artist's name. When the name came back to him, the image he had so admired vanished from his mind's eye. This is known as the Signorelli parapraxis. In the annals of Freudian psychoanalysis, and it's a famous example of Freud's own life, of his principle of repressed memory. What was at the bottom of this? There have been many theories on the subject, but Nicholas Fox Weber is the first to study the actual Signorelli frescoes for clues. What Weber finds in these extraordinary Renaissance paintings provides unexpected insight into this famously confounding incident in Freud's biography. As he sounds the depths of Freud's feelings surrounding his masculinity and Jewish identity, Weber is drawn back into his own past, including his memories of adolescent obsession with a much older woman. Freud's Trip to Orvieto is an intellectual mystery with a very personal, intimate dimension. Through rich illustrations, Weber evokes art's singular capacity to provoke. And this is on extra heavy stock paper, and it is loaded with illustrations. Wow. Freud on the couch. I'm on board. Oh my. Okay. And it has blurbs from John Banville and Colm Tuabin. So that's those are two very smart readers. That's fantastic. All right, that comes out in May. And it's not fiction. That's great. And then what have we got here? This is also a May publication, and it's called The Topography of Tears, and it's a collection of photographs by Rose Lynn Fisher. That's what it looks like right there. And who is Rose Lynn Fisher when she's at home? That's going to be the whole key to this thing. An artist and author of the International Photography Award-winning study B and the Topography of Tears. Her photographs are exhibited in galleries, festivals, and museums across the world. They've also been featured by the Dr. Oz Show, NPR, Smithsonian, Harper's, New Yorker, Time, Wired, Reader's Digest, Discover, Brain Pickings, and elsewhere. She received her BFA from Otis Art Institute and lives in Los Angeles. And this is just a collection of her photographs. How interesting. Wow. All right, so a distinctly odd end of the day mail haul. We have a collection of photographs called The Topography of Tears. We have Freud's trip to Orvieto, in which Sigmund Freud's fascination with Renaissance homoerotic frescoes is examined. We have Jersey by Jerome Charon, a novel of Jerzy Kosinski. We have Autopsy of a Father by Pascal Kramer, and we have A Fugitive in Walden Woods by Norman Locke. Plus, Out of the Blue, Icelandic fiction, and a collection of interviews with Allen Ginsburg. So it's a very mixed bag. I can't say I'm displeased with it, though, so I'm going to get to work with it, and I'll see you later. Thank you, BookTube.